It hurts me to tell you guys, but we will never see Parappa the Rapper make a return. No remakes, no reboots, nothing. It's a wild story with lots of twists and turns, so bear with me as I slow walk the dog here. If you were alive and playing video games in the mid-90s, chances are you've encountered the original PlayStation. To the younger viewers out there, this thing here is the great-great-grandfather of your fancy high-tech 8K ray tracing PS5. Crazy, right? I remember that Christmas morning like it was yesterday, tearing that box open and then booting it up for the first time, only to hear the most epic boot sequence to this date. Yeah, that still sends chills down my spine. The Sony PlayStation was the first truly successful disc-based system, a state-of-the-art 32-bit console that made Super Mario and everything that came before it look juvenile. This was the next level of gaming. No more childish Italian plumbers jumping on flying turtles. This was gaming for the big kids. Load times, cinematic experiences, and realistic graphics. Aged like absolute shit, but you get what I'm saying. Games like Metal Gear Solid, Resident Evil, Siphon Filter, and Twisted Metal. In 1997, there was one video game in the library that stood out like no other game had before: Parappa the Rapper. The unique-looking rhythm-based game starring a rapping dog named Parappa. It was a fairly straightforward experience. The characters would rap on screen, and it was the player's job to keep Parappa rapping by hitting the corresponding buttons right as the hitbox hovers over them. The game received mixed reviews because you actually need really good timing. So, if you're a cultureless heathen with no rhythm, you'd give it a bad score. But if you were like me, blessed enough to be born with rhythm and could catch the beat, you'd give it a positive score, leading to it being one of the most polarizing games amongst the audience. The storyline was absolutely batshit crazy, but this used to be what gaming was. It wasn't unusual to see a game about a tiny bandicoot riding a tiger while collecting fruit, aliens fighting against mega corporations for freedom, or even a contest where players beat each other down with rockets and boulders for a chance to win prize money. Look at that! That old man just took a log to the face. Pause. Gaming used to focus on fun, no matter how wacky the story might be. This was before we became overly focused on hyperrealism and realistic physics that make certain body parts shrink in cold weather. Move aside, Final Fantasy, because Parappa the Rapper, hands down, is the greatest storyline I've witnessed. And it goes a little something like this. Parappa and his friends are at a movie starring their favorite superhero, Jet Baby. The film wraps up and they head over to their favorite chill spot, Chunky Burger. All of a sudden, these two jackass bullies attack them for their food. Sunny, who happens to be Parappa's crush, stands up for herself. Being inspired, Parappa decides he wants to be able to stand up for himself too. So, he must become a hero. And how does one become a hero?
Yeah, I know. I gotta believe.
He meets a talking onion who also happens to be a kung fu legend. Master agrees to teach Parappa how to fight under one condition. He must out-rap him. The beat drops and they rap each other to the death. Ultimately, Parappa wins. Onion Man forgets all about the promised kung fu lessons and quickly rushes Parappa out of his dojo and onto the next stage.
Good job, Parappa. You can go on to the next stage now.
Yahoo! All right.
The next day, the gang is hanging out. Parappa suggests they go to the beach. Kitty and Barry tell him they need a car and a license to get all the way over there. Along comes our arch nemesis, Joe Chin. He offers to take the girls to the beach in his fancy stretch limo. Male egos are shattered when Sunny and Kitty had to beg Joe to give the boys a ride. He allows it, but tells them to stay quiet and get in the back. The thought of being driven around by another dude sickens Parappa, so he decides to get his license. And how does one get his license?
Yeah, I know. I gotta believe.
Yeah, if you haven't caught on yet, that's kind of his thing. I gotta believe, manifestation at its finest. He meets a talking moose driving instructor who agrees to teach him how to drive under one condition. He must out-rap her while driving. an important life skill he must possess before moving on to the next stage. Now, this level and the following are tied for my two favorite stages in the game. The beat is pretty fire, and something about the car flailing around the road as the two exchange bars is just so satisfying. The best part of the song is when Moose Lady tells Parappa to make an emergency stop because something unthinkable happened.
I forgot to close the door. You forgot to close the door.
After Parappa is through with his lyrics, the careless instructor rewards him with a license. He immediately steals his dad's car and picks his friends up. While driving recklessly, an 18-wheeler collides with them, completely mangling the car. Miraculously, nobody was hurt. It makes zero sense, but hey, here we are. Parappa now has to pay for the car. And how does one pay for a car? Yes, of course, he has to believe. Out of the shadows comes this reggae frog dude. He promises to teach Parappa how to make money under one condition. He must hop in a cipher and prove he can rap.
So if you want to sell goods here, come stand next to me. Follow me rap.
After proving worthy and completing the reggae stage, Parappa uses his newly acquired skill to earn money instantly and buy a new car for his dad. Sonny's birthday is coming up and the three friends are planning a party. They play rock, paper, scissors to decide who's doing what chore. Parappa is tasked with getting a cake. And how does one get a cake? By believing in yourself, of course. He buys a cake from the local baker. Then the clumsy oaf drops it and falls in it face first. Kitty threatens to end his life if he doesn't get a replacement, and fast. Parappa meets a talking chicken who just so happens to host a cooking show. She agrees to help him under one condition, rapping. They rap about recipes and such until Parappa successfully bakes a cake. While Parappa is with the love of his life, the nervousness kicks in and causes him to get the bubble guts. Now he has to He attempts to quickly drive Sonny home, but he's not gonna make it in time. He stops at the nearest gas station and heads to the restroom. Unfortunately, there's a lineup. Coincidentally, it's everyone he's rapped with over the past 72 hours. They agree to let him use the toilet under one condition: a shitty rap battle.
Let's rap for it.
That's a good idea.
Hurry up.
After out-rapping waves of characters, Parappa is blessed with the keys to the restroom, while everyone else is forced to soil themselves. He takes a shit, then continues to drop Sonny home. Weeks later, Parappa is invited to rock the crowd at Club Fun. Sonny is front row with dozens of others as Parappa performs his hit song, I Gotta Believe, at his first ever concert. The end. Crazy as all shit, but short, sweet, and straight to the point. You could literally 100% this game in like half an hour. Parappa the Rapper was one of the best-selling games in 1997, almost moving 2 million units. Sadly, this was kind of a one-hit wonder, as the series would never see this level of success again. There was a sequel that came out on the PlayStation 2 back in 2001, but it was nowhere near as popular. The star character was also playable in PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, released in 2012. After this, Parappa would just seemingly vanish, slowly fade away into the abyss with many other shelved Sony IPs. The series would be joined by Jet Moto, Jak and Daxter, Resistance, Motorstorm, and a countless amount of IPs they've abandoned over the years. It seems Sony has strayed away from their roots. Today they focus less on fun and innovation while caring more about the bottom line. Instead of trying to achieve a bunch of small successes through reviving their many dormant franchises, they're trying to land that one huge game like Fortnite that will print money for years to come. Out of sheer boredom and a bit of curiosity, I started to research Parappa the Rapper 3, or an upcoming Parappa reboot. Nothing on the horizon, nothing at all. But while browsing, I did happen to stumble upon an unexpectedly wild story, and it revolves around the main character's voice actor. It hurts me to do this, but we have to talk about Dred. A lot of IPs I mentioned earlier seem to have been shelved and abandoned for no apparent reason. When it comes to Parappa, I fear I found the cause. We'll probably never see the character or the series make a return. Dred, or Dred Fox as he calls himself, remained mostly behind the scenes, but in 2013, he was involved in literally the craziest sequence of events I've heard in quite some time. It's miraculous gaming outlets like IGN and Kotaku didn't pick the story up. It involves Dred weaponizing his massive fan base of dedicated diehards, a couple college kids, stolen money, lies, lawyers, online meltdowns, being exposed on gaming forums, actual recorded diss tracks being exchanged, and one poor fan scammed out of $100. So just stick around for a bit. I promise this will be one of the strangest video game moments you've ever witnessed. A small tale about the dangers of worshiping false idols over the internet. A story about one man who took advantage of his fan base and had it completely backfire on him. So hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and let's look a little closer into the fall of Parappa the Rapper.
Money, money, money is all you need.
On March 9, 2014, NeoGAF user Camjo would create a post that would go down in history as one of the best forum threads ever posted on the site. It was simply titled, "Parappa the Rapper told me to drop dead." If you were curious enough to click the link, the first sentence reads, "I wasn't gonna post this on NeoGAF originally, but it's gotten so ridiculous that I just had to share it." Not even Camjo could predict where this roller coaster of a story would end up. He goes on to confess that he's one of the biggest Parappa fans of all time. So much of a fan that he decided to make a cartoon about Parappa for an animation project. The college student went above and beyond and tried to get the actual voice actor to record dialogue. Camjo and his groupmate Jacob reached out to Dred Fox on Facebook saying, "Hey man, regarding the Flash cartoon my friend is doing, he's working on it right now and plans to have it done by November 20th, when the Battle Royale game comes out. My friend is doing a Parappa skit and it's a couple minutes long." The two students were such fans they even graciously offered to send a small cash payment to show their gratitude. Paying you wouldn't be a problem. You can do the lines whenever, by the 20th of next month, so no rush. Dred took the two up on their offer and says he has to get working on it right away. Apparently, once the game comes out, he'll be booked and busy doing promotion all over. "Since you came at me direct, I'm on it. Need the funds to pay my computer partner to record on his system, so if you feel comfortable, you can send $100 today." Being broke, like most college students tend to be, Camjo and Jacob didn't want to spend $100 on a school project. They put together $30 each and hoped their idol would accept the $60 payment. After all, they only wanted him to record roughly 7 lines of dialogue. Dred Fox was pretty down to earth and agreed to do it. He gave the boys his information and received $60 through Western Union. Perfecto. Since you were so prompt and real, we're even Steven. I'll have that for you by week's end. Thanks again for your honesty. Like I said, I'm a businessman. I gotta believe. Yeah, I guess it wasn't just video game dialogue. He actually talks like this in real life. Anyway, days later, Dred reached out to Jacob stating that his management caught him doing projects on the side. He apparently has to charge the full $100 because of the contract he signed. I wouldn't charge more if it was up to me, but I gotta follow the rules. I like to finish what I start and remain professional. Hit me back, ASAP. The very next day, Jacob decided he'd pay the extra $40 because having Parappa's actual voice would really legitimize their animation. Dred received the payment and messaged the two fans. "Thanks again, man. You guys just made a friend named Parappa. Smiley face. I'll let you know as soon as it's done. If y'all need me again, just holla at your boy Dred Fox." Now, I would love to tell you guys they aced their project and the story ends happily, but unfortunately, the unthinkable happens.
A situation that we have not seen ever in southern New York here at Battery Park. Water has come up, you can see it. There's been an all-time record surge here, and now throughout many of the streets in Lower Manhattan, the water continues to rise.
In October 2012, a devastating hurricane tore through the Caribbean and parts of the United States. With winds peaking at over 180 kilometers an hour, Hurricane Sandy caused close to $70 billion in damage and claimed 250 lives. Considering Dred Fox lived in New York at the time, understandably he was laying low taking care of his family. Jacob decided to reach out to Dred to see how he was doing in the aftermath of the hurricane. "Thoughts and prayers to you and your family, hoping everyone's okay. No rush, just let me know when you think everything will be ready for us." Dred emerged from the rubble a few days later and replied, "I got caught up in the storm, lost a few things. We rebuild. I've been had it for y'all, just got lost in the source. I'ma record in the Bronx this week." So apparently Dred had the recording done for the two students, but instead of sending the file over, it got lost in the hurricane, I presume. A week later, Dred reaches out again saying, My computer got damaged, so I've been running around to Wi-Fi spots like the library to do what I gotta do to record. I'm doing my best. If I can't finish this project by end week, I will send y'all back your money. I won't diss y'all. Sounds fair. If Dred can't find the time to record, he'll refund the paying customers. He did not meet the deadline, and the boys asked for a refund. Dred went radio silent for the coming weeks, until one day he posted a message to his official Facebook fan page. Happy holidays all y'all. I've been out of touch for a little over a month, Hurricane Sandy. But we rise. I'm kinda in a bind with my grid grind. My laptop got ruined, Hurricane Sandy. So I replaced it with an iPad. Guess what? Some bleep fucker stole my iPad at a Public Enemy show I was at. I lost a lot of Parappa data. This may seem out of pocket or scamish. I'm asking for help to replace my joint. I'm asking for small donations to get Parappa the Rapper back in cyberspace on the regular. We, me and Parappa, only need $5 per person. Just think, you're helping out a friend. Nuff said, we gotta believe. Sadly, many of his disciples drank the Kool-Aid and agreed to donate money to the cause. Camjo and Jacob couldn't help but feel their $100 contributed to the purchase of that iPad or those Public Enemy tickets. Weeks passed, the deadline was missed, and the semester ended. Dred remained silent until one day in January, he reached out to Camjo. What's up, Cam? I owe you guys a project. Are y'all still doing what we planned? I still got the script. Camjo was confused as he already told Dred he wanted a refund. The school project was already completed without the voiceover. It is now almost 4 months later. If you don't refund me the $100 I originally sent you by this Sunday, then I'm gonna start discussing my legal options with a lawyer relative. And that's when Dred Fox snapped and lost all composure. Camjo pulled the good old "my uncle is a lawyer" trick, and it didn't sit well with Dred. He officially broke character for the first time before quickly walking back his statement. Didn't mean to come off rude, but I don't play with legal or any threat. That just makes me say f off, no negativity. I'm not going back and forth in cyberspace. I deal face to face, so keep the negativity at a minimum, if any. As soon as I get on my feet financially, you got it. I have an 11-year-old daughter who I have to do for first. Don't let a little money end our communication, alright? At this point in the story, many NeoGAF users had already stopped reading just to comment how insane the situation is, and they're not even at the end. Multiple accounts would state how disappointing this timeline of events was, and this is why it's sometimes better to not meet your idols, so to speak. Camjo would continue to reach out to Dred for the outstanding money, only to be ignored for the next 8 months. As he was about to give up and throw in the towel, Jacob stepped in to give it one last try. Dred, this has gotten way too out of hand, and this is going to be my last message regarding the matter. We originally asked you to record a 10-line script for a completely non-for-profit fan cartoon. 10 lines is the kind of thing you can record over a lunch break. We're a fan of Parappa and your work, so we agreed to pay. In fact, we had such naive faith in you that we actually paid before the lines were even finished. With any other professional voice actor, we would have gotten a refund right then and there. And yet here we are, a year after the initial deal, with our cash still in your pocket. Here is our final request. You have until a week from this message to send our money, or we will have no choice but to bring legal action against you. No negativity, just business. This long-winded message was enough to lure the fox out of its hole. Dred responded, not with an apology, not with an explanation for his 8-month hiatus, but with this. Dred Fox had surgery, and while recovering in a hospital bed, he had to remind them not to make threats. He believes because there is no signed paperwork, he technically doesn't have to pay them back. For weeks, Camjo would continue to reach out to the hospital patient. All of his messages were ignored. Out of desperation, he threatened to write a public article exposing Dred, and that's when all hell broke loose. My fans could care less about you. Don't get yourself caught up. Some fans will do anything for my honor. You're a weakling talking shit in cyberspace. Do what you gotta do. I'll just write a song about it and ruin your minuscule blog. Stop while you're ahead. Don't bother me anymore. I'ma just deal with Jacob. Drop dead. From this post here, we can gather 3 things. 1, Camjo just lost a friend named Parappa. 2, Dred Fox severely overrates his own celebrity, basically insinuating that he can get someone from his fan base to take care of Camjo. And 3, it seems Fox is a musician to some degree. He likes to record himself rapping in his basement. Now, the blog was slowly getting around, and a local hero named Saki decided to confront Dred on his official Facebook fan page. Dred Fox is a f***ing con artist. I said it. To my surprise, it seemed that Dred was right all along. He does have fans that will come to his defense. Saki was immediately met with resistance in the comment section. He was called a troll. He was called an idiot, and much worse. That's when Camjo hopped in and posted the link to his Parappa the Scammer blog page. Even with the evidence out in broad daylight, Saki and Camjo were still being attacked. It took the most unlikely person on the planet to change the energy in the comments. And that person was Terrence, Dred Fox's brother. Dred Fox is my biological brother, and I love him to death. I have no information about the allegation being made. I will only say that our mother never raised us to be dishonest or take advantage of anyone. I assume here that Terrence reached out to Dred behind the scenes and told him to fix the situation before it gets out of control. That advice fell on deaf ears, as Dred would post, "Things happen. You're upset because you thought you could capitalize off my market by attaching your name to me. My lawyer suggested I don't do it, but I was willing to help you gain a name for yourself. And when it didn't happen, you got your panties in a bunch. You could have had a friend in Parappa the Rapper. Not anymore. No small boy can tarnish a legend. Out of 500 million fans, you can't please them all. This is my final message. I got a Parappa album to finish for my real family." I see what he did there. Family. It's like family, but instead it's family. Impressive. So, Dred Fox seems to believe that the Parappa franchise has accumulated 500 million fans over the years. At this point in time, there was roughly 7 billion people on Earth. Quick math would show that 1 out of every 14 humans on the planet would be a Parappa fan. 7% of the world's population is a Dred Fox fan. So next time you're in a classroom, busy train, a concert, or sporting event, just stop, look around, and imagine all the potential Dred fans around you. Power of Parappa, baby. From here, Fox would abandon his Facebook fan page. He wasn't seen online for months. That's because he decided to focus his energy on his fans in a Parappa the Rapper 3 petition group. Once Camjo found the Fox's hiding spot, he decided to inform the new fans of the whole ordeal. As you can probably expect by now, Dred didn't take this well. Do me a favor and stay the f*** off this page. You are no longer welcome in this world. Somebody stick something in his mouth. My zipper is stuck. Don't respond to this jerk off. I don't do well with anger, so I preserve myself. The devil is a busy liar, so I'ma chill before I dump a chicken in the fryer. That rhymed. So I'm assuming he's at home and he rapped that part out loud to himself. Anyway, people in this group chat weren't as brainwashed as his official fan page. Many chimed in to say that Dred was acting incredibly unprofessional. Little did those fans know they haven't seen anything yet. Dred Fox was about to give a masterclass lesson on how to crash out. He forgot about his ties to Sony and every other professional company he's ever worked with, making written threats and offending everyone on the sidelines watching. Dred went apeshit. What a loser. I wish we could meet face to face. I think you're a depressed chick I dated and never called back. You are a virus that needs antibiotics. How we let one personal misunderstanding between me and Mr. Nobody have us discussing beefs on a page that is supposed to be positive. I never took a pic. I never signed an agreement. Never. I had some issues in my life like everybody else. I'm in the studio working on a diss record which now includes you and other clowns. Mwah. Final kiss. Fox would soon regret exposing his next move. He let the world know that he planned to make a song making fun of Camjo and the other losers who dare accuse the legend of being a thief. As I'm sure you guys know, the internet remains undefeated. On March 13th, 2014, this story would climax as the most unexpectedly vicious contribution to this story was posted.
Hello don't know you, but I'm guessing that you broke now.
You had a bad career choice and the money slowed down.
Lawyer? You know you can't afford the
Couldn't
lawyer fees.
refund the money, but could afford to buy a brand new iPad.
You exposed yourself as a thief and a liar.
Pardon me while I dump a chicken deep in the fryer.
A lurking NeoGAF user emerged from the shadows. He let the forum know he'd been reading every post and keeping up with the ongoing story as it unfolds. He downloaded an instrumental version of the song Pound Cake, which was recorded by the Canadian artist Drake. The young bystander wrote and recorded a professional rap song directed solely at Dred Fox. It was simply titled PETA, aka Dead Fox. It featured many great lines making fun of the celebrity's public meltdown. This one song set NeoGAF on fire, almost crashing the website. Thousands and thousands of people would click the link, expecting a little joke of some sort, but by the end, they were overly impressed that this quality of rap could come from a random user on a forum dedicated to video game conversations. Reactions and responses poured in by the minute. People praised the song, considering the battle over before it even started. Dozens of people posted the video directly to the Dred Fox fan pages, so the odds are he did listen to it. He promised to release a YouTube video explaining his side of things, but that never surfaced. Instead, Fox turtled up and went into hiding, as word was spreading and many people were contacting him. For all my new friend requests, I want y'all in my circle, but if your intentions are to diss or speak on something such as this, keep it moving. Dred officially walked away from the situation and never looked back. The money was not returned and he's remained mostly ghost for the past decade. That is, until a couple of months ago when he poked his head out of hiding and sat down with a YouTuber named Amber Jones. They did a 90-minute podcast. As you can probably tell from her outfit, she's a super fan. She asked no tough questions and didn't even think to mention the money theft incident. Which is fair, it's your platform. If you want to avoid the mess, hey, by all means. As for Camjo, he remains in good spirits. He often jokes around saying, between the community coming together, all the laughs, and the moment that diss song released, he's more than got his money's worth. We're obviously in some odd times. Society has become weirder than it's ever been. All these screens and online distractions have made people antisocial. In-person relationships are dwindling away while friendships over social media platforms are thriving. While most influencers are genuine, I'm sure, you gotta be aware of the outliers. The ones that prey on the loneliness of others. The ones that make you feel a part of the family only to turn around and ask for money to remain a family member. In closing, I recommend you all to be aware of those who take advantage of the very fans that supported them and got them to the position they're in. Doctor's orders.
Oh, thank you, doctor. No, I'm not a doctor.
And that's it for today, guys. If you're still here watching, you already know I consider you my people and I appreciate you. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like and consider subscribing. I have a bunch of other videos you might find interesting. Until next time, chase your dreams, do what you love, GBE, man, get better every day. I'm the doctor, signing out. Gimme my music. I move in the nighttime, shit, everything I do in the nighttime. Make one turn two in the nighttime. Zoom from that bright light, move by my right side. Crew in the spot and it's like 2 o'clock. Wrist never been in cuffs, evident.